So we are waiting to go on live. So we are live right now. And ladies and gentlemen, if you just happen to be here with us because you're just browsing through, or the algorithm of Facebook is pushing to your handphone, if you're in the US or in Singapore, in Asia, you will see us if you do browse through. And if you're just walking in the park right now, you're watching the Platinum platform, and we are podcasting to you live from Singapore. It is 10:07 a.m. here, which is 10:07 p.m. EST in New York, but it is 9:07 p.m. right there in Savannah, Georgia, where my wonderful guest, Karen Denise Alston, is. She's going to introduce herself as the international co-writer for Gold Nuggets for Entrepreneurs. But a little bit, just hang on. I know everyone is eager to know who Karen is. Just to let anyone who is just browsing through, you can find us through Facebook, and let me run through the steps. And if you look at us right now, through the live button, and you don't know who we are, please go and share this with your friends, as many as possible, because we've got so many wonderful guests and stories for you. If you just look through, and you can always find us in youtube.com/c/talkaboutlive, and that's youtube.com/c/talkaboutlive to look at me, and you will also find Karen's interviews below. And if you are new to us in Facebook, come to us at the Platinum platform. That's where we are. It is 9:08 a.m. here in Singapore, a sunny 24th of November 2022, and we are all getting out of the pandemic right now and putting the past behind. The world is going to be a wonderful place again, whether you are in business, whether you're running a home-based business, whether you're running a business in or retail in the shops. I just want to let you know that we have the best for you, and all the blessings from us, and the blessings from God. And it is a sunny day here. It is Thursday morning. Karen, I would like to welcome you to Singapore. What a wonderful occasion we have. I hope that this is going to lift you and your followers up with our podcast. Karen, how are you? Tell us who you are and where you're from, Karen.
Yes. Hi, Vicki. As always, it's great seeing you. And welcome to the USA right here from the city by the sea, the beautiful Savannah, Georgia. I am Karen Denise Alston. I am a certified national domestic violence advocate. I have, I'm from Savannah, born and raised here. I love my city. I'm also a vet. I have served in our United States Army Reserve, in the 33rd Medical Dental Detachment. I have also been a part of the criminal justice field, serving as a paralegal and office manager in the criminal justice field for several leading lawyers from Atlanta down through and out in Savannah as well. So I have a extensive background in the criminal justice field, and not only working with lawyers, but also working into the government with our Chatham County Courthouse as well. And I've continued my education with the University of Phoenix and with Liberty University, getting my bachelor's in criminal justice, and continuing on with, of course, with Liberty University. I love Liberty University because they give you a great wealth of information and helping us all in the particular field. And I brought that up because it's very important in the field of of domestic violence and working with individuals that have also been into sexual abuse. And so that's my whole background of not only being a survivor, but an overcomer of domestic violence, which led me into my nonprofit organization, which is entitled For the Jewel in You and the I Shall Speak for Her movement. So it was very important for me in my level of education and becoming and starting my nonprofit. It was important not just because I went through going through domestic violence, but it was also important for me to go back and understand the steps. Like, how did I end up being in such a violent world? Like, how do I had to understand that process. I had to understand how do I get
just
caught
a
up in
little
this?
bit, yes, and just a little bit background to the audience. You know, Karen has talked about her luminary you know, background, and today particularly I would like to introduce her as an international co-writer, and we have this project with us called Gold Nuggets for Entrepreneurs, and this is a pre-release publicity. And it is such an honor to have her to write this chapter. And that's why, you know, this is so important to everyone, and not to take away any of her time for the audience. This is her floor. She's going to talk about the gold nuggets for entrepreneurs, particularly her chapter called Know Your Why, Be the Change. And it's such an intense chapter that I would like people to know and to read her chapter, because you can read her chapter that she actually writes from her soul. And I would like Karen to use this time to touch your life. If you are just like walking in the park right now, stop right there. If you're in the cab, or if you're in the train, or you're at home in the toilet, you got to stop right there and just listen to Karen right now. And she's going to talk about this chapter. It is so powerful, about know your why. And I think I would like to give the floor to her. Let's give justice to her about her chapter and about the motivation behind. That's why she's talking about her background in the Justice Department, and then pursuing her education to do what she's doing now as the founder and the CEO of I Shall Speak for Her movement, and also for the Jewel and You Global Inc. So the floor is yours, Karen. Tell us about your chapter, why anyone should read your chapter, and what is the takeaway for an entrepreneur, or for anyone for that matter. The floor is yours, Karen.
Yes, I love my chapter, knowing your why. And I think that it's not just for if you're talking about starting a nonprofit organization, but knowing your why when it has to do with serving individuals. You got to know why you're doing it. Even if it's opening up your own business, for profit or nonprofit, it has to come within. It has to be, what is your purpose? Knowing what your purpose is. I cannot do what you do, Vicki. And you may not be able to do what I do, but then it can all come together for the good for everybody. I do believe that it all works together when we know what our individual purpose is. And so in leading up to why I decided to do the nonprofit, I first had to look within myself and decide, did I have something to offer others? I also had to decide as I went along my journey, what did I learn from that? So I had to do research. I had to study. I had to look at what the pros and what were the cons. Then I had to sit there and I had to write it out. And it didn't just happen overnight. I had to really evaluate a lot of things within myself. So in that whole process, it's about the growth of things. I had to be able to become really humbled. I had to be able to take instructions. You had to be able to understand that you don't know it all and always be looking for that opportunity to learn more on top of what you already know. And that, in other words, become that good student so that you'll be able to advance. I always, when in dealing with individuals in my nonprofit, I always realized that I was dealing with other people's lives and that I will have to be held accountable with the facts versus myths. And I do a lot of that. I doing that researching. And so then in the researching of first finding my knowing my why do I want to do this?
Yeah. And I'd like to bring up a particular point as I'm reading your chapter to follow through to let the readers understand, or potential readers understand, what they will find in your chapter. Number one, you talked about be that change. And I think that is powerful. Be equipped to be the change. You know, I would love to hear that that you share this with our potential readers, our audience. That change is a shift in your life. Right? Like, for example, for you, quitting your job and making sure that you don't take that pay that you had a good pay before, but now you're going to go into a non-profit that, hey, you may not be paid at all. And you're dependent on sponsors and people may not be giving you, and you're like what you say, you may have to humble yourself. So go through that, be that change, that decision, and then be equipped to be that change.
Exactly, because a lot of times you would think that, okay, well, all of a sudden I'm going to get all these grants and I'm going to get all these sponsors and all this money is going to be rolling in. And you have to make sure that you're willing to give up something for something. And sometimes you may not be able to just leave your job and pursue what your dream is.
Yes.
So you have to look at the reality of it. You have to say, what is it going to take? And that's why it is important to do the research. So a lot of times people come in and they're looking at, well, the bank's going to give me the money, or I'm going to get the grant money right away. And it doesn't happen that way. You have to take the workshops, go take I can't say that enough by saying, go, take the workshops and take the classes that they give you, like the Small Business Administration, like United Way. These agencies, I rely on these agencies because they will take you through the process. And a lot of times we think that these Fortune 500 companies, even for nonprofits, there are a lot of successful nonprofit organizations, but they didn't happen overnight.
Of course.
And they asked the hard questions and they did the work.
Yes.
I didn't just start this overnight. So I've been on this road for over 15 years, still learning, still sitting at the table. And if they told me don't do it this way, do it this way, I wasn't hard-headed. Why reinvent the wheel?
Yes.
You
Wow.
know,
Powerful words.
yes. And when it talks about being the change, I look at it as about having that mindset. Change your mindset that somebody owe you something, because people really don't owe you anything.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have that mindset that I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to stay up late nights.
Yes. Wow.
Long hours. I'm willing to oh, that didn't work right, so let me try it this way.
Not
I'm
giving up.
willing
Being
to
resourceful.
not. Yes, I have started over so many times and not be
Wow.
ashamed of starting over. It's okay to step back and reevaluate. And this is what I tell
Wow.
my board all the time. If the head is not on right, the body cannot function.
Yes. Yes. Just like in any political system, right?
Exactly. Open communication. Talk to yourself and find individuals who are going to be open and honest with you. All of that is about being the change and having the right people around the table with you.
So will we find all this in your chapter?
You sure will. It's in there. It's in
It's
there.
so powerful, you know, and that's why we need to have writers like you, people who have gone through that fire to
Yes.
emerge to be the phoenix. And going through that fire is not just one time. It could be going through, coming out in ashes, and then going through again, right? But I think what you gave us are real life journeys. And that's what makes the book powerful, because we have people like yourself telling your journey, and these are words of experience, and these are words that has been tested.
Yes.
That's why it's so powerful. I also like you to share your expansion, and about the point about talk about growth and expansion, and the point about, are the people listening? Tell us.
Wow. Growth and expansion is so, I think that is one of the hardest points, because change is hard for people when you're used to doing things a certain way. But in order to grow, when we talk about expansion, it stretches you.
Yeah.
And it stretches you beyond your imagination.
Yeah.
And no one would have ever told me that I would have gotten a phone call one day when a young lady was on the other line, and she said, "Miss Karen, someone wants to give you office space. Give me office space." And
That's money. That's money.
That's money. And I want to tell our viewers and those who actually read the book to read in between the lines of what it is, of what you're doing, because people will watch you when you're not even realizing that
Yes.
they're what you are doing. Because if they see you working diligently and you're consistent in what you are doing, there will be people who would want to automatically invest in your why. It might not be,
Wow, that's powerful. That's
but it's
powerful.
your why.
Yeah.
Because you have something that somebody needs.
Yeah.
So I say, don't give up on your why. Somebody needs that. You just have to make sure you are around the right individuals, getting the right information,
Yeah.
and applying it in the correct manner, the right manner of that. And I want to say this also, Vicki, to our viewers.
Yep.
It's not always going to be your family members, your church members, your co-workers. It's not always going to be the people who are around you who
Yeah.
are going to be your greatest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Or your greatest
Exactly.
supporters. And that's okay. Do not get upset with them. That's okay. Because
Wow.
about you developing into the person that needs to run your own 500, how you say it, your own 500 fortune business, whether it's profit or non-profit.
You know, I need to hold your horse right there. You know, you are powerful women right there. I mean, I just want to give you the megaphone. I just need to give you this huge megaphone to be telling the message to the world. You know, telling your purpose. I'm so touched myself. Karen, we need people like you to be touching lives of other people. And particularly also for young minds, for a new generation of people. You know, I'm so touched even working with you, ladies and gentlemen. And because today our topic is about your chapter, but what you are showing is just a glimpse, right? It's just a glimpse of what you are able to give. And that gives that compelling reason to go to you, to talk to you, and not even only for domestic violence, knowing your why, getting someone, like giving them the spark of inspiration, giving them the spark of the reason to live, Karen. And the thing is that I think, ladies and gentlemen, people who are watching or listening in, they know you've gone through, and you are the right person to be doing what you're doing. And I hope that God takes you bigger, higher, in a much more powerful way, because only when you're up there, the light will shine way further. And people do need the light. And because I'm not going to take up too much of your time, it's 10:29 a.m. right now. It's already 9:29 p.m. where you are. But I do want you to wrap this up, Karen, because it's so powerful, and I could go on and on and on and on with you. And I could take you, and then I could make you that business trainer, and to like touch lives of people, like, you know, how they should get that why, and how they should get it right from the start. And if people don't get that principle right, you know, then it's going to be hard, because you need to get the core right. And then after that, you can get the tips, you can get the skill set, you know, you can get the competence to come in. But getting that heart right and getting the why right, it's so powerful. And Karen, you have put it so aptly. How can we put you on a higher pedestal? So you better live strong and live well, Karen. Not for yourself, but for many, many people, Karen. So Karen, I would like you to wrap this up, Karen. You know, in your chapter, again, because your book, your chapter is so powerful, I'd like you to talk about, here you talked about, are people listening? how do you make people listen, and why should it be necessary for people to listen?
First, when I say it's important for people to listen, it starts within me. I first must have an ear to hear. Sometimes we do all the talking and then we're not standing still and long enough to really hear what we are saying ourselves. And so I say to all individuals, when you're starting out, find that quiet place. First, hear yourself. That's the part of knowing your why. By asking yourself those very hard questions, by sitting down with individuals, even family members who are going to be openly honest with you, or friends and others that are going to just lay it straight out. Sometimes it's hard to hear the truth about yourself. And then when you're listening, you sit there and you look again at the pros and the cons. You got your pros. Okay, that's good. Here are my cons. Here are some things that I need to work on. And here are some things that I need to do better. But then in that listening part of it, you're now trying to find your audience. And you're trying to make sure that you're hearing what it is that your audience needs. A lot of times we're so busy thinking about what we need.
Yep.
So in a nonprofit, that doesn't work. In a nonprofit, for my organization, I need to hear what it is that the people that I am serving, I need to make sure that I am hearing what it is that they need. I cannot be a solution to help them if I don't know what it is. Yes, I went through domestic violence. I became a survivor of that. Now I am an overcomer of it, because as an overcomer, I have to bring back the solution. So watch this, Vicki. What was good for me to become an overcomer may not be the same solution for someone else. So I have to be able to listen to my audience so that I'm able to provide them what they need in order to become an overcomer.
That's well said. You know,
when you're working for a nonprofit organization, I need to listen to the people and provide them what it is that they need.
So ladies and gentlemen, that's Karen Denise Alston. And she speaks for herself. I mean, look at that. Everyone, you must pick up the book for her chapter. Just like this 25-minute interview with her, it's just a glimpse of what she's able to share. You know, it's so powerful. But we have the fortune to have her to be part of this international panel of writers and to have her with us today. Karen, what's the takeaway for an entrepreneur, whether they're doing profit or non-profit, from your chapter?
The greatest takeaway would be, for me, to them, is to be yourself. Be true to your own self.
Yeah.
Very simple. Be true to yourself. Don't let anybody take your dream from you. Let your dream be the reality, and that will be the reality.
So that wraps up our very, very compelling interview with Karen Denise Alston right there at USA, Savannah, Georgia. You know, I have no words. I'm just speechless for a podcaster. And it's so it is compelling, it's gripping. And like what you say, um, find that core in you, find that why in you, find that mission in you, and get the competence, go for the courses. And I think what you have given is so powerful. Listen, also try to find that mission, that sense of mission, be that change, and then be equipped for the change, and be able to, like what you say, be able to change yourself, build yourself up again to be a totally different person, and that is very difficult. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I could go on and on and on with you, Karen. You have touched me even with that 25 minutes with you. I hope that with this, anyone who is watching it now or later on, because it's going to be for perpetual, if you are scrolling by the Facebook, due to that, the algorithm or the live button, please find her. Tell people where they can find you, Karen, and where they can write to you.
Yes, definitely. Please, our oh my God, I always forget what I'm about to say, but always follow me on Karen Denise Austin on our Facebook page. We're also on LinkedIn. And of course, we do have our Facebook page, the Voice to Voice, the Survivor's Heart, and for the Jewel in You Global.org. Always there, always there.
Yeah, and she's got so much stories to share. I hope I could dig them out. But no problem, we'll always come back to her. We have the infinity of the technology. It's always here. We'll always come back to you, and we're going to bring more Karen Denise Austin to you, the audience and our potential readers. I know all of you is going to find out who she is. Thank you so much, Karen. I hope that we can go on, but I'm not going to take time off from you because it's late right there. It's a morning now, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Singapore and welcome to the USA.
Thank you, Vicki. Everyone, have a great day.
Yes, I'm going to talk to you again. Thank you, everyone. Remember to tune in again, the Platinum Platform and the book Gold Nuggets for Entrepreneurs at pre-release date in December. Bye.